What is the best bang for your buck, most delicious, easy to make noodle dish ever? Well, you're looking at it. Perfectly garlicky, spicy, rich noodles that are easy to make. You can make them very, very quickly within like 15 to 20 minutes. That's the beauty of it, but I'm giving you two different versions. We have a standard chili garlic noodle, which is sort of made with a quick chili oil. You then toss the noodles in, and then another one that's sort of a creamy sesame peanut version. We have different moods and different vibes, so you pick and choose the one you want to make. I would recommend making both, but that being said, let's make this, shall we? Now for our first dish, we're going to make a more classic chili garlic noodle by combining all the aromatics in a large bowl, blooming with hot oil, tossing with a knife cut noodle. And the second iteration is an even more exciting version, but not any harder, a creamy chili sesame noodle. First one is an oil, like a chili oil, but we're not using canned, we're not using jarred. It's very important you make your own, and it only takes like a couple minutes. So we're actually gonna start with our oil. We have a small pan, a 1/3 cup of peanut oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, although I recommend peanut. Crank that to medium heat. We want this hot. Now, while that's going, 2 large green onions. And you're just gonna thinly slice the whole thing, the white and the greens. The cuts don't have to be perfect because you're then going to finely chop it. So try not to waste a bunch of time getting the perfect little cut because we're gonna this thing up. I don't quite want a paste, but I do want this really fine. Yeah, about right there. Now we're gonna pop that bad boy into a large bowl. Your noodles are gonna go into that bowl, so try to be considerate of the size. If it's too small, you might have everything in here and be like, oh yeah, all these ingredients are gonna fit in there great. But then when the noodles go in, you're like, oh shit, I have no mixing room. Big brain this, please. We have our garlic, 3 cloves, and we want these minced, right? You're 90% of the way there. Then just run your knife through a few times. I always think it's funny when someone's like, why don't you just use a garlic press? Honestly, nothing makes me more angry than a garlic press. I'm not judging those who use them. I'm just saying that I don't like single-use tools. Like, what else are you running through there? Ginger, I guess? You don't want it too fine or else it'll kind of go bitter and acrid when you pour that hot oil in, so try to be cognizant of that. Something like that. Now, while we're here, we might as well cut our garnish. So more green onion, 1 to 2 of them, maybe 3 if you really like green onion. And you're just gonna cut those into nice thin rounds. Now this one we do kind of want to pay attention, try to keep them somewhat even. This serves like 3 to 4 people, so try to have enough green onion for everybody. No more knife work, we're pretty much there. Now, chili oil. We have 3 tablespoons of Sichuan chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of regular soy sauce. You could also just do 2 tablespoons of regular soy sauce. If you don't have both, that's totally fine. Please don't yell at me. 1 teaspoon of MSG, optional, but highly recommended. 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, a little bit of sweetness, and 2 teaspoons of a black Chinese vinegar. Mix that together, evenly incorporate. Look at that, dude. If you sniff that, yeah, dude, you already know, right? Our hot oil. We've got this heated about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You want it somewhere around that, right? Now, when you pour this, it's going to sizzle a lot. Please be careful. Maybe don't pour it with your face over it or your limbs. You know, you could do it at a distance like this. Depends on how confident you are. Then give it a little whisk. See, that wasn't so bad. We're done. Now we boil our noodles. Now look, you can use any noodle you want. These are dried, hand-cut noodles. These are the best noodle for this, hands down. You get them in an Asian market, you get them at 99 Ranch, so on and so forth. You can also get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for that. You can kind of use any like sort of Chinese wheat noodle. So boiling water. You're gonna add 6 to 8 ounces of noodles to your boiling water. I'm gonna do like probably close to 7. And we're gonna cook those according to package directions. Once these are done and al dente, if you will, you're gonna drain them. Honestly, I like to get a little bit of the starchy water in there so that this clings to the noodles, but you are gonna drain them. I'm using a frying spider directly into your oil. At this stage, we just give it a little toss to coat the chili oil. You can also do it literally just like this. Look at that, dude. Now, at this stage, you can taste it and make sure that the salt levels are where you want it to be. It should be, but if not, you can always add a little salt or a little bit more soy sauce. Divide your noodles into bowls or put it into one big bowl. Top with thinly sliced green onion, and that's it. Just serve and enjoy. This is delicious, extremely easy to make, but we have another version that's a creamy peanut butter version I want to show you that might even beat this. This one is even easier. Bowl, a 1/4 cup of tahini, ideally a roasty, toasty tahini, 3 tablespoons of a creamy peanut butter, the creamiest, the smoothest you can find. Trust me, smoother is better. I don't want any of that, you know, organic BS that's got all the gritty in it. I want this to have been as machine processed as humanly and mechanically as possible. This is not about being healthy. It's about being delicious. 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of white distilled vinegar, 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of mirin, 3 cloves of garlic grated. If you have a garlic crusher, you can use that too. I'm sorry for making fun of it. And then like 1.5 inch, 2 inch knob of ginger, grated. You can omit the ginger if you like. I like a little bit of gingeriness in here, but it's not like an end all be all flavor. It was more of like, I kind of added this last minute when I was writing the recipe and I was like, that sounds good. Finally, 1 tablespoon of shiradashi. If you have it, also optional, but I would highly recommend you find it. If you're already at an Asian market, you might as well just grab a bottle. It's incredible. I use it in a lot of things. And 1 tablespoon of a chili crisp. Who do we love? Lao Gan Ma. That is the one and only. You don't know what that is? Look it up. Okay, educate yourself. Whisk that together, just until everything's incorporated. You want that peanut butter to be broken down and smooth and made into a sauce. The final thing we're gonna add to this is noodle water, which is super important in creating a homogeneous sauce, but we need to cook the noodles first. Different noodles. Be pumped about it. Look, it actually doesn't matter. Any Chinese wheat noodle. You could even use the same hand-cut noodles as before. These are fresh, lo mein noodles. These work great. These are more of like an egg noodle. I think a round noodle looks nicer with this sauce, so that's why I went that route. Let's boil it. Now, since we're using fresh noodle, 1 pound is not really that much. We have 1 pound. Look at this, dude. Look at these noodles. These are stunning. 1 pound of these bad boys into the boiling water, cook them according to package directions. This says 6 to 8 minutes. We're gonna pull these, but before we do that, okay, do not drain them yet. Get about 1/4 cup of your noodle water. I might even do just a little extra in case I need more. Yeah, 1/3 cup. Now I'm gonna take this over here and drain these bad boys. Now, if you aren't gonna serve these right away, you can also rinse them off, just to keep them from overcooking. For our noodles, we got our sauce. Before we get those noodles in here, I want you to take the hot noodle water. Let's just add half of it. It's still homogeneous and you should end up with a beautiful sauce. I want it somewhat loose, but not too watery. We want a little bit of viscosity to it. Think like Alfredo sauce consistency. If your sauce is too thick, you can always add a little bit more of your noodle water. Now, that looks good to me. I'm happy with that. Take your noodles, goes right into the bowl, and then just toss to coat thoroughly. Look at these, dude. We are gonna put green onion on this, but I like to do mine a little differently just because I think it looks pretty. You can cut them into rounds, chop this way, or you can make nice little thin curly boys by cutting them at a very steep angle as thinly as you can. Super thin, super duper steep angle. There we go. Now, you could serve them as is, or get a little ice water with a fine mesh strainer in it and just throw them in there, give them a little toss and dry them off and they'll curl up nice and beautiful. Divide your noodles into bowls. You can set them up however you want. I did a nice little roulade in here, if you will, but you could also toss it in there with tongs, followed by a drizzle of spicy chili crunch, thinly sliced green onions, and crushed peanuts. Now it's time to taste and compare. You're not here right now, but if you were to smell this, you might take your pants off. It's such a classic. Immediately, super, 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 super garlicky and rich and unctuous. But it's also got this like light sweetness, a little bit of acidity from the black vinegar. And then that Sichuan chili flake is just sort of warming up the experience. It's actually not that spicy. For me, I would put it at like maybe a 3.5 out of 10 on the spice level. It's a nice warmth with a little bit of sting, a little kick in the pants at the end. I mean, this is just perfect. You throw a little chicken on this. You can just have this on its own. You can have it with some vegetables. On to the next dish. A little different, a little fancier. It's similar yet totally different, right? Like you still maintain that rich garlicky chili oil, spicy, salty, sweet vibe, but now it's been made creamy. Now you have the addition of this like rich toasted peanut flavor, a little bit of a sesame flavor that kind of meld together. It's like the spicy vodka of chili noodles. Unreal, perfectly balanced, but they're also 2 different occasions. You pick and choose. I'm giving you 2 different ways to enjoy one of the greatest, most easy noodle dishes of all time. You choose what you want. Subscribe, bye, love you so much, see you later.